Hello, I'm Erwin Tyler, an independent researcher and author, and you'll find some of my works on the Amazon Kindle and Barnes & Noble Nook websites. With the presidential election so close, I've decided to pause from my research into alternative medical care and to look at what we might expect from another Obama presidential term. I'm presenting here a set of statistics, some are from federal publications and the President's own administration and his bureaus, and some of them are from independent researchers. Now, I know that President Obama and many of his supporters argue that he inherited such severe problems from the Bush administration that we shouldn't be surprised how long it's been taking to repair all of the damage that they have already caused. That argument really is an abandonment of leadership, and it sets up an excuse for anticipated failure. It's not a valid excuse. How a previous administration may have gotten us to this unfortunate condition is not a constructive issue. The real issue is expressed in the following simple question. Is your current lifestyle safe under a future Obama administration? Think about this. At each set of statistics that you're about to evaluate, I ask you to answer for yourself the following question. Based on the economic trends presented to you, what can we expect from the Obama administration in another term? Let's start. Let's start with transportation costs. We've seen gasoline prices more than double since President Obama took office. In fact, it's risen to over $4 a gallon here in Rockland County, New York. We can also see that new car prices, which have risen steadily over the years, continue to rise throughout this same period. President Obama doesn't seem capable of doing anything to slow this rise in transportation costs. In fact, in his last campaign, he told us he wanted to increase transportation costs. Can you handle further transportation cost increases that we can expect with an Obama victory? Now, let's look at Americans who work for a living. We can see clearly that even as the U.S. population has increased, the number of people working in private industry has stagnated during President Obama's 4 years in office. Unionized workers, who seem to be strong supporters of President Obama, have not done very well under his administration, as union membership figures show. Despite his promises, President Obama seems unable to influence the downward trend of union membership that we have seen in the last 3 decades. Can we truly believe that unions will be any more successful in growing their membership under 4 more years of an Obama presidency? Well, who has done economically well by President Obama? Clearly, it's federal workers. He continues to add to the federal payroll, and as you can see, paying for them with an increase of 50% in the federal taxes paid by the average middle-income American. Is this assault on your standard of living a trend you want to continue for another 4 years? Unfortunately, millions of Americans are out of work, with over 6 million ready and willing workers still searching for a full-time job after 4 months of looking. This terrible burden on middle-income America has only become worse in the 4 years of the Obama administration. The president either has no idea how to change this dangerous trend, or else he does not have the leadership skills necessary to do the job he was elected to do. Can our economy and your unemployed friends and neighbors survive another 4 years of President Obama's inability to bring our economy at least back to stability? Look at where we live. American renters and homeowners clearly are hurting more than they were at the start of the present administration. Even looking at the lower numbers of foreclosures, realize that that's because the laws have been changed to stop temporarily the number of foreclosures. Those still eligible under the older rules are increasing nonetheless. The figures show that during President Obama's stewardship, rents have continued to rise and home values continue to fall. Finally, just like your personal budget cannot forever run deficits, the government cannot continue to pile on debt at an accelerating rate without facing the consequences. Mr. Obama and his wealthy supporters will not face these consequences. You and I will, through job losses, service reductions, and the severely lowered standard of living. On a national level, such uncontrolled deficits have always ended in hyperinflation, and that, my friends, has always destroyed civilizations and nations. Based on the president's failed economic record, how can we believe he can change things for the better? President Obama's promises to control the national debt have been broken. How can we believe he can change things for the better? Ladies and gentlemen, as I did at the beginning, I ask you to think extra carefully before you cast your vote for president this year. Thank you.